I reviewed the Asus ROG Delta S wireless on the channel a little while ago. Today we are revisiting the Asus headphone lineup to check out these. This is the Asus ROG Fusion II 300. It's a wired headset, obviously from Asus, and this time there's RGB, so it's bound to be good, right? Let's find out. Hey guys, I'm Matt and welcome to another Kit Guru review. As I mentioned just now, this time around we're going to be taking a look at the Asus ROG Fusion II 300. It's a wired gaming headset with a big focus on audio clarity and quality. The inclusion of a quad DAC for lossless audio processing supposedly provides crisp and clear sound at all frequencies. According to the Asus website, the Fusion II 300 has been designed for RPG and FPS games, so it needs to perform well and it's got to have great sound imaging. The headset retails for roughly 120 quid here in the UK, so let's dive in and check out the Asus ROG Fusion II 300. As is the usual with Asus products, the packaging is quite nice and it feels really good quality. The front of the box shows a picture of the headset in a glossy print, along with, like the Delta S wireless, confirmation that this headset is Discord and TeamSpeak certified, as well as being supported for use with the PlayStation 5. The main features of the headset are detailed on the back of the box, with the sides having some Asus branding here, there and everywhere. Opening up the box, you'll find the headset held in place by a plastic insert and a little plastic seat belt, clunk click and all that. I've got no concerns around the protection provided by the packaging, and if you did choose to pick one of these up, it's more than likely going to arrive in perfect condition. Tucked underneath the main plastic insert is a box that contains some alternative protein leather ear cups, just like the Delta S, a USB Type-C to USB Type-A converter, and then some leaflets about warranty and then how to set this headset up. The design of the Fusion II 300 is gamery, but somewhere in between gamer and standard headphones. There is a customizable RGB zone flanking each ear cup. The matte black design does look quite sleek, and the RGB can be turned off if you'd prefer to go with the stealth look. Although to do that, you'll need to endure using Armory Crate again, but we'll touch on that more later in the video. The Fusion II 300 is constructed almost entirely out of plastic, and it feels a bit cheap if I'm being totally honest. It certainly doesn't feel like 120 quid's worth of headset, which is really disappointing. On the plus side, this is a really comfortable headset though. Just like the Delta S wireless, there are two sets of ear cushions included. As I mentioned before, there is one covered in mesh and then the other are covered in protein leather, which are found inside that box sitting in the bottom of the main box. And again, just like the Delta S wireless, I much prefer the mesh covered option. Both are very soft and can be worn for a long time without feeling any discomfort, but the leather cushions did tend to make my ears get quite hot quite quickly, which has never been an issue when using the mesh pair. The headband is covered with that same mesh and it has the Republic of Gamers branding printed across the top of it. Now, I always like to see branding done like this on products. The minimal style always looks better than big garish logos. The underside of the headband has a quite generous amount of padding underneath a protein leather covering. It's really soft and very comfortable. And moving down towards the ear cups, we have to talk more about the plastic that's been used for the construction. The brackets, which allow the cups to swivel and move, are made entirely from plastic, and I feel the same about them as I did about the brackets on the Delta S wireless. Although there is some metal used through the headband, just like in nearly all headsets, the part that moves more than any other is entirely made from plastic and it will break faster than if it was made from metal. The ear cups themselves are all black and again they're made from plastic. There is some quite subtle branding on each of them. There's a debossed ROG logo on the left ear cup and then the letters ROG on the right. The RGB zones or strips are situated on the back of each ear cup. To be honest, RGB on headsets has always puzzled me a little bit. I'm not going to be able to see it once I've got the headset on, so is there any point? It's only really going to be people who see the headset on someone else that are going to be able to see the RGB. Are they supposed to look and think, oh my God, look at that gamer? I've just never understood it with headsets. I love RGB in peripherals and in my fans, in my computer, my graphics card, whatever. I just don't get it with headsets. So let's talk about the controls and the connectivity. Now, like most headsets, the controls for the Fusion II 300 can be found on the bottom of the left-hand ear cup. And as this headset is wired only, the controls are quite simple. There's a volume wheel, which can also be pressed down to turn the 7.1 surround sound on and off. Then there's a microphone mute switch. That's it. Toggle up and down for the volume, press it in and out for the surround sound, and then turn your microphone on and off. But these buttons are again made from plastic, but they do feel quite well made. They're quite grippy, but they're made from plastic, which is a bit disappointing. As I mentioned at the start of this section, the Fusion II 300 is a wired only headset. It has a non-detachable 2-meter USB-C cable. The fact that this is non-detachable is a big con for me. It's disappointing as you won't be able to replace it if the cable breaks. With that being said though, the braided cable does feel quite rugged and robust, but if it breaks, there's not a lot you can do about it. So you use the included dongle to connect it to your PC. There's not much more to say about the connectivity as it's just a wired only headset. You plug it into the dongle, either plug it in with USB-C or use the dongle and plug into USB-A. So let's talk about the microphone. The mic setup here is exactly the same as the Delta S wireless headset. The beamforming microphones are positioned inside of the ear cups, so there's no boom mic sticking out and getting in the way. I really like this design choice, but unfortunately that's as far as my praise for the microphone goes. Mic adjustments are made using Asus's Armory Crate software, but the difference when you turn the settings on and off is not too noticeable. Here's a sound test and a run through the different settings in Armory Crate so you can hear how this microphone performs. Hey guys, so we've jumped over into Armory Crate to do a microphone test of the Asus ROG Fusion II 300 quickly. This is the sound as you'll get it straight out of the box. This has no filters applied in OBS and nothing turned on within Armory Crate, as you can see from the screen. So we're going to run through the settings one at a time. I'm just going to add a bit of background noise in so we can test the noise gate. So there we have a Kit Guru YouTube video playing on the TV that is just to my left, about 4 or 5 feet away. So this is the sound without any noise gate applied. This is the sound with 25% noise gate applied. This is the sound with 50% noise gate applied. This is the sound with 75% noise gate applied. And finally, this is the sound with 100% maximum noise gate applied within Armory Crate. So now we will test the perfect voice. So once again, this is the straight out of the box sound of the microphone, the plug and play sound if you like. This is the sound with 25% of that perfect voice setting applied. And this is the sound with 50% of the perfect voice setting applied. This is the sound you'll get with 75% of perfect voice. And finally, this is the sound you'll get with 100% maximum perfect voice slider applied within Armory Crate on the Asus ROG Fusion II 300 headset. Now I'm going to show you the AI noise cancellation setting. We'll do it with typing. I have linear switches in the keyboard in front of me. So this is without any AI noise cancellation at all. And here's that sound test again with low AI noise cancellation. And that sound test once again with mid. And finally, this is that sound typing test again with the high AI noise cancellation applied. And finally, I want to do that same test again, just with the background noise that we've got from the TV. So I'll put the noise on from that Kit Guru video again. And this is how the AI noise cancellation deals with TV background noise. So there is a Kit Guru video playing on the TV to my left. And this is how it sounds with the mid AI noise cancellation applied. And finally, this is how it sounds with the high AI noise cancellation applied. So let us know in the comments down below what you think of the performance of the microphone of the Asus ROG Fusion II 300. And the microphone just sounds a bit hollow and tinny in my opinion. The software tweaks make very little difference and I just can't get the microphone to sound as full as I want it to. It does work and you will be able to use it just fine for chatting to your mates while gaming, but don't expect anything that's going to blow you away, and I would never use this for recording any sort of content that you want to have your voice sounding full and rich. You're just not going to get that out of this headset. You wouldn't get that out of that many headsets, to be fair. The microphone's perfectly usable for chatting to your mates, but that's about as far as it goes. So let's talk about the sound specifications and the listening experience of this headset. This is where this headset sets itself apart from the Delta S wireless. The Fusion II 300 features an ESS 9280 quad DAC and 50mm neodymium drivers, which Asus say should ensure that the headset puts out decent quality audio. Now each DAC handles a different range of audio frequencies, ranging from lows, mids, highs and ultra highs, and this should mean that we get clean and crisp output across the whole of the headset's 20 to 40,000 Hz frequency response range. Although take that response range with a grain of salt, because realistically we can only hear up to about 20,000 Hz. For my testing and use, that's pretty much what we get. This headset puts out some really nice low end. But again, like the Delta S wireless, this is only after heading into Armory Crate and tweaking some of the EQ settings. By default, the headset sounds flat, which is a good thing in a way. It's a nice starting point, but it might lead to you being a little disappointed with the performance straight out of the box. Setting up some custom EQ that boosts the lows and the highs, along with setting the bass boost and compressor sliders to 50%, really helped push the audio quality to the next level. As for gaming, this headset performs really well from my testing. It has really impressive sound imaging. I was able to place footsteps and other sounds easily when playing Escape from Tarkov or Call of Duty. One thing is though, you have to remember to turn the 7.1 surround sound off when you listen to music, as I found that it caused some very noticeable distortion if it was left on. So when you finish gaming, just press that volume wheel in to turn the 7.1 off, otherwise your audio is not going to sound too great when you're listening to music. It works really well in games though, and I'd be happy using this headset for playing games where the sound plays a key part in the awareness or the immersion, like shooters for example, and RPGs and stuff like that. So now let's talk about the software. The customization of the audio settings and the RGB lighting for the Fusion II 300 are all done in Asus's Armory Crate software. There are separate tabs for audio, lighting, and then to check if there are any firmware updates available. The audio tab is laid out exactly the same as the Delta S wireless, with options for choosing different sound profiles or optimizations, as Asus are calling them, turning the virtual 7.1 surround sound on and off, adding some bass boost, some compression or some voice clarity, which again just will boost the certain frequencies where vocals are commonly found. And you can also add and adjust reverb and EQ, and then you can finally activate and tweak the microphone's features and settings. And then jumping into the lighting tab, this lets you set a number of different RGB effects. There are a few defaults to choose from, like rainbow and music modes for example, or you can download the Aura Creator module to fully customize and sync your RGB settings across all of your Asus Aura enabled devices. We've got to talk more specifically about Armory Crate. It's the biggest letdown of Asus products in my opinion. If you watched my video on the Delta S wireless headset, then you'll already know my feelings towards this software. It is buggy, it's laggy, and it doesn't always work properly. Unlike the last time I set it up, I didn't encounter any errors when installing it this time around, but it still installs an annoying amount of bloat, like services and software modules for all sorts of stuff that are completely irrelevant to me. Removing them all is a long and arduous process that includes using a specific removal tool provided by Asus. It shouldn't be that complicated to remove a piece of software from your computer. It's just lazy development and Asus need to fix it. I know a lot of people out there share my frustration with Armory Crate, and searching online you'll find an abundance of people experiencing issues with this software. Asus, please improve this software. Your products deserve decent software and the software really needs an improvement. So my final thoughts, it's a tough one. While I do feel that this headset is okay, I have to bring the price into my thoughts as I tell you guys if I recommend it or not. The audio quality of the Fusion II 300 is quite good, at least after you've tweaked it to your liking, just like the Delta S wireless. The performance out of the box could be a little disappointing to some, especially if you don't know to go and set it up or don't know how to set it up. The performance does sound a bit flat without any EQ done to it. The microphone, again, is not great. While it is usable and it will work perfectly well if you're just talking to your friends while gaming, it's nothing special and I wouldn't use it for any sort of content creation or recording. The build quality for a headset of this price is just not good enough. The plastic construction feels cheap and the ear cup brackets do not feel strong enough to last all that long, if I'm being totally honest. And the software is still a huge pain and a serious letdown. It still needs an overhaul desperately. I hope Asus fix it at some point. If you love Asus's products and want to keep everything as on brand as you can, then this may be worth checking out. If you're not bothered about what brand of headset you get, then there's definitely better options out there. That's all for the review today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a like down below if you did. Don't forget to subscribe to Kit Guru with the notification bell on to keep up with the latest PC gaming news and reviews. You can find links to our merch store if you like this t-shirt that I've been wearing down in the description below. There you'll also find a link to our Patreon page if you want to support us and unlock some exclusive content. Anyway, I've been Matt. This has been the Asus ROG Fusion II 300. Look after yourselves and I will speak to you in the next one. See you later.